All right, guys, this is Norvell Central coming back at you with another YouTube video. And I really do appreciate all the love and support so far on my YouTube channel, on my Instagram account, on my Twitter account, all of my social media accounts that I've had that I've posted Florida State content on. It really means a lot to me that you continue to support my brand and support my account as well. Just super excited to see what the future holds, especially in the off season as we go through some of these spring workouts, getting into the spring game, hopefully around the middle of April. And then you turn around and have summer workouts. And then next thing you know, we're back in college football again. But I wanted to talk about a clear point today that I think a lot of people are kind of reversing their train of thought on a little bit. And that's Mike Norvell. In the offseason of last season, everyone was talking about how Mike Norvell was on the hot seat, how he couldn't do everything, and everyone wanted to see more. And I get it. As a Florida State fan, when you go 3-6 in your first season in 2020 with the COVID filled year, you turn around and have a 5-7 season in 2021 with the embarrassing loss to Jacksonville State. Things have to change in Florida State. We knew there were expectations there in Tallahassee that needed to be fulfilled, especially for a team that's won 3 national championships at this point. You're wanting to get back to that point. Now, everything wasn't built in a day. But of course, there were mistakes that Mike Norvell made along to the way. But you have to really think about it. The 2022 schedule looked out, and everybody was circling the LSU game. You went out there and you defeated those guys. They had a little bit of a comeback at the end, and you blocked the PAT to get the job done. You had the Louisville game where Jordan Travis got hurt in that game, but Tate Rodemaker came back and had a furious comeback rally. You were able to beat those guys. You turn around and have a good win against Boston College, but the downside is you lost 3 straight to Wake Forest, NC State, and Clemson, and you're trying to look, where is everybody going to happen? What's going to happen to the rest of the team? Is the team going to stay motivated? You reel out wins against Georgia Tech, your arch rival Miami, Syracuse, Louisiana Lafayette, Florida, and then you also had the huge bowl win against Oklahoma. 10-3 season for the first time since 2016. It was quite an impeccable kind of journey for Mike Norvell as we go through this season. It was kind of a lot of highs and lows. Mainly highs, though. I mean, this was a successful program, and everyone wants to talk about how Jordan Travis's throwing ability was not the greatest in the world, but he was one of the better passers in the ACC. You turn around with Trey Benson. Everybody hated the take of Trey Benson. Next thing you know, he has 990 yards, and everyone was saying, wow, what a great player he is. Trayshawn Ward was a great, fantastic piece there. I wish him nothing the best as he goes to Kansas State. All the receivers and Ron Dugans. I mean, there was a lot of great things that you can turn to now that every fan is now saying Mike Norvell needs to be praised for what he's doing. And I know a lot of people like to say that they want to caution everyone and they want to temper expectations until it actually happens. And now this is where Florida State needs to be. But, at some point you have to believe in your organization and your coach. And at that point, until they are no longer at Florida State at that point, you can even still cheer for them afterwards. But at the end of the day, I think Florida State's really set the foundation, as I've talked about many a times, with the team coming up for this upcoming season. I mean, when you're looking at some of the games on the schedule for the 2023 season, you have LSU in Orlando, you have Southern Miss, you have North Alabama, you play Florida on the road, which is going to be a tough task, you could say, at Boston College, but Boston College losing a lot of pieces. You play at Clemson. That's going to probably be a de facto ACC championship caliber type of game with no divisions. Syracuse, and then you have Wake Forest, Duke, who's actually improved from last season, Virginia Tech, and then at Pittsburgh, who you think is going to be a little bit more tricky depending on when you play them in the season. But looking at that schedule, I mean, you can see a floor of maybe 8 wins, 7 wins, and then the ceiling, of course, is probably going to be 12 wins. But, I mean, you have to crawl before you can walk at some points. But I do think Mike Norvell has got the fan base back into it. And I think the one big thing that you can talk about in the press conferences when he first came on to Florida State, he doesn't want people just to blindly trust Mike Norvell at this point. He wants people to understand and wants to see his vision and gradually let them trust him and make sure his actions speak louder than his words. I think that's very important to understand as a fan base. We're all trying to get better. We all want to see Florida State be successful. I don't want to dog any fans or say that, this is happening or that's happening. But the national media is paying attention. We talk about Mike Farrell from Rivals talked about find me 6 wins on the 2022 schedule. Next thing you know, Florida State wins 10 games. He was wrong. And, of course, when you look at this, not everything's going to be perfect. I'm not saying that Florida State's going to go 12-0 next season. It would be a major disappointment. Let's just say if Florida State goes 7-5, 8-4. because that is a step back in the wrong direction. Now you're kind of reeling back from a season that you thought was going to be pretty good, and we're just trying to figure out what's going on. But I definitely like the direction that Mike Norvell and the staff is going with. I think continuity is a big thing for them. If they want to understand what they've been through as a program, they have stuck together. Everyone's talking about Alex Atkins being promoted to that offense coordinator spot. It's really big because he's one of the best recruiters and one of the best developers on the staff. I think that's very important to keep him in the fold as we go forward here. But Mike Norvell's done a tremendous job, along with a lot of the staff members on there. And also the support staff. You can't forget about that as well. Transfers have been coming left and right. And I just think there's a lot of great things you can talk about and focus on for Florida State going forward in the future. But I really appreciate all the love and support. I just want to give a big shout out to Mike Norvell and the staff, and also Florida State for having a wonderful 2022 season. Hopefully that can springboard them into the right direction in 2023. And I really appreciate all the love and support. Be sure to hit the subscribe button. It is completely free. And go Noles.